now we're heading over to the top 5 segment, man. And this week it is least favorite comic book movies. And I think we did pretty good because you guys know our least favorite Marvel movies. So we did pretty good about staying away from Marvel this time.
Yeah, no, we
you know,
did. We did. You're
yeah,
right.
so everybody already knows those ones,
Yeah.
but we wanted to put honorable mentions. And this is both of our number 5 at Catwoman. This one, I mean, I remember being a kid and watching this and was like, this is bad, And I mean, as a kid, you don't really have any frame of reference of what a good movie is, but I was like, this is rough. And especially like when she would be like the purring and shit, I was not here for it.
The only single good thing about it was her costume.
Yeah.
And the costume was completely inaccurate and totally wrong, but it was Halle Berry in it, so it looked good. That's all I'm saying. But this one, you think Halle Berry, Benjamin Bratt, right? Like, yeah, I think it is Benjamin Bratt. Like, it's a great cast. It is this. It's god fucking awful. It's not anywhere near Catwoman. I feel bad for Halle Berry because I feel like Michelle Pfeiffer definitively stamped Catwoman, and like to have to try to follow that, and they even tried to connect the two characters. They made reference to Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. If you missed that in any of it, like go back and watch, you'll see what I'm talking about. They make didn't work. It fucking sucked. It fucking sucked. I say go check it out. Go watch it. See if you can find the. Don't fucking watch it. Don't.
Don't. I was just about to say.
In fact, all of these, don't fucking watch them. Just trust us and don't fucking watch.
Exactly. Number 4 for me, which is kind of funny because it's the Fantastic Four, the latest iteration of with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, and the others. I remember being in high school when this one came out. Me and my friend went and watched it, and just by the end of it, we were like, "That wasn't good." Like you got wait to the climax and it just being over real quick. So I just, I'm hopeful for Marvel. I hope they are able to finally do some justice to this super family. I think it's an amazing concept, but yeah, just the iterations we've seen before, and with not really being a comic book person before watching, the original ones that came out in the early 2000s, I wasn't fans of those either. But this one specifically was garbage. So Fantastic Four, the newest one.
Yeah. And, I was really disappointed. I had a lot of hope for this one because, and for the life of me, the name of the other movie that I'm trying to reference is just not popping in my head. But the filmmaker of this one had done another movie about young kids with powers and these things, and it was fucking brilliant. It was great. And I was all in. I'm like, you're lining me up this cast, which are all phenomenal, right? And then you're giving me this guy who pulled off that and then I was like, what the fuck happened? What? These are like Oscar-worthy actors with a film guy that seemed to have understood the concept for Fantastic Four with his last movie. I was all in. And then it was, oh, what the fuck? It was, it was god awful. God awful.
I'm trying to see, was it the director you're talking about?
Yeah.
Fantastic Four Chronicle.
Yes. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, and I was all in. I was like, this guy's gonna nail it. This guy's gonna do it, and it just did not. It did not. Which is funny because I felt the same way about another actor and role and director, and I was fucking fired up and all in, and it ended the same way as that Fantastic Four movie did, and it's on my list, and we're gonna discuss it. In fact, we're gonna discuss it right now. We're gonna jump in with my number 4, Batman Forever. George Clooney, right? No, George Clooney was Batman and Robin, correct? Batman Forever, Val Kilmer.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll get to Batman and Robin. We'll get to my story. Batman Forever. Joel Schumacher, right? All I have to say for this, and this should be enough for you to realize not to ever fucking watch it. Batman with nipples, the Batmobile with neon colored wheels. Done. Why is it on my list? That's why. Worst, The Dark Knight strikes terror into the heart of bad guys. You don't ever want to cross this guy. You'll fear for your life. He's going to put the ass whipping on you. He had fucking nipples and neon wheels. Goddamn. What the fuck? This is not bad. He made the campy Adam West Batman look scary, for Christ's sake. This is Batman. You're coming off of Tim Burton's dark, phenomenally successful version. This is supposed to be the continuation of what the ever-living fuck. Gotham City doesn't have neon lights. It's not a bright circus. Woohoo, everybody's happy. Batman is supposed to be terrifying. None of that happened in Batman Forever. It was an over-the-fucking-top performance of the Riddler. If you liked Riddler in The Batman recently, you would have fucking hated it. It was Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. There was no fucking Riddler to be found. It was just Jim Carrey in a fucking Riddler suit. That's all, like, over-the-top fucking Mr. Freeze with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It just... Tommy Lee Jones, who's a brilliant fucking actor, was the most god-awful performance I've ever seen in his career trying to play Two-Face. Every fucking thing about this movie sucked. And I was a huge fan of Joel Schumacher. Lost Boys. I'm like, fucking right. He's already done vampires. He understands Batman. Apparently fucking not. So I just like, this movie was made to sell fucking merchandise for McDonald's. They sold the shit out of Batman Forever glass mugs and cups and all this kind of shit. This movie was a merchandise grab, and the only fucking thing it was worth. That's it. Because it fucking sucked. That's it. I'm
just saying.
Just saying. Number 4, Batman Forever.
Yes. Number 3 for me goes to Push. I'm sure not even a lot of people have seen this film.
No, facts.
Chris Evans, this man, before Captain America, kept doing his attempts at superhero movies or some sort of super like genre, but made a lot of fails. Okay, some of them definitely fell on their face, but I mean, you got like Dakota Fanning in it, Camilla Bell, Chris Evans, like Digimon Hanso, the dude we can never pronounce his name. But like so many different things, and it was an interesting concept, you know, being able to move things kind of like Miss Marvel does with the abilities and stuff like that. But I don't know, something about it, man. I remember this might have been like one of the first dates I ever went on in like 7th or 8th grade, and I'm just like, I'm sorry we decided to go to this one. It's so bad, but it's kind of surprising because IMDb has it for 6.1 out of 10. I would have definitely thought it would have been lower, but don't watch this movie. Don't go out and look for it. It's not good.
It's not good, and 3. I bet that 6 point whatever is just love for Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Because the movie is definitely not that. It is definitely not that.
No.
Yeah. I would agree with everything you said. I was highly disappointed with that movie, and yet another one with a really good cast.
Yeah.
Like, just goes to show you can have fucking Oscar-worthy actors that can't save a bad script. That's all I'm saying. It's just...
Exactly.
So I wanted to give Joel Schumacher a second shot. Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was just really fucked up one day when he did Batman Forever. Maybe he just like was having a bad fucking day. I don't know. Gonna give him another shot. The man knows vampires. Lost Boys is one of the greatest vampire movies ever. It's like, it's awesome, right? Fucking awesome. Now he's bringing in George Clooney from dusk till fucking dawn. A badass motherfucker. It's a vampire movie. This guy, suave and debonair, that's fucking Bruce Wayne. He's gonna nail Bruce Wayne. Then he gets into the dark, gritty shit in From Dusk Till Dawn. He's gonna nail fucking Batman. Joel Schumacher is gonna rebound. He's gonna bring this home. He's gonna redeem himself. There were more fucking neon lights, bigger fucking nipples, and they're like, what the? And a giant fucking codpiece. If it could have gotten any fucking worse, then they bring in Robin, who's got the Nightwing logo. Like, it's not even, you don't even know who he fucking is. Is he Robin or Nightwing? We don't know because he's got, you're calling him Robin, but he's dressed like fucking Nightwing. What the fuck? Then they bring in Batgirl, who's anything but Batgirl. She was a fucking just Alicia Silverstone. What the fuck were you thinking saying yes to this piece of shit? Like, he did not redeem himself. He fucking buried himself. That was it for me and Joel Schumacher. I'm like, if I saw Joel Schumacher was coming out with a new movie, I ran as fast as I fucking could in the other direction. It was just not good. Future reference to anybody making a Batman and or Superman or any superhero film. Don't put fucking nipples on the suit. Christopher Reeve wore a skin-tight suit. No padding there. He worked his ass off. That was all real muscle. No padding. Skin fucking tight. Did you see his nipples? No, you fucking did not. It was painted on. You still didn't see his nipples. You don't need nipples on a fucking superhero suit. Not even a woman's superhero suit should we be seeing nipples. It hurt me for many, many years. Thank God for Christopher Nolan and Batman Begins, because if Batman and Robin had been the last image of Batman on film that I had known, I would have fucking cried forever. Thank God for Christopher Nolan going, let's fix that shit.
Let's do something else, please.
Because, oh my God. All right.
Yeah. Number 2 for me, I know you say this was the end of a chapter for Superman.
Tried to be,
yeah. He was trying to carry a torch for another historical figure. But Superman Returns. I was just not a fan of this one. It was very boring. I was very, very excited to see this film. I was excited for all the action sequences. I think this is the reason why Superman doesn't mean as much to me as he does due to other people, because this is honestly my first introduction to him. I didn't watch any of the cartoons or anything like that. So this was the first introduction to Superman for me. So this is probably why he doesn't mean as much to me. But yeah, I just was very disappointed. I think this may have been the first movie I had actually fallen asleep in the theater. So yeah, man, I just, and I like Brendan Routh. But I just, it wasn't what I was hoping for.
So I'm going to cement that with, because it's funny, because this movie was made in direct correlation to try to fix my number 1 movie on the list here.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a tribute to Christopher Reeve, and Brandon Routh, I will just say this, nailed it. He was the epitome of Christopher Reeve. He sounded like him. He looked like him. He understood the slouch to Superman. He got Clark Kent right. He got Superman right. You nailed it. The movie was fucking boring as shit. I see Kevin Spacey and they show that one little trailer and he's got the kryptonite and Superman's on the ground and he's like the bald head and he's like, wrong! And I'm thinking, holy fuck, this is going to be amazing. It was boring as fuck. There was no action. There was no fucking action. The best scene in the whole thing is when he's stopping a bank robbery and the bullet is shot into his eye.
Yep.
That's basically the most Superman thing in the film. The rest of it was boring as fuck. He kept repeating lines from the originals, right? Mm-hmm. And it just... They had real potential there. They showed the sun. If you're a fan of Superman 1 and Superman 2, you know that he gave up his powers and did the magic with Lois. She got pregnant. They never addressed that, but now we know that happened and they had a kid and he's there. And there was so much potential. And it's just like, what the fuck? I give no fault to, and I drop nothing bad or harsh on Brandon Routh. He did what he needed to do. It was just a bad script with a bad story, with bad direction, and a bad concept. Christopher Reeve would have understood that, I think. And Brandon Routh redeemed himself in the Arrowverse when they suited him back up as the Kingdom Come Superman and proved this guy can play Superman. That was just a bad vehicle to play Superman in. And I felt bad for him because he did his very best to try to do it right, and it just was not going to happen. It's just, no, I'm right there with you. Fucking sucked. My number 2 is in the same vein of Superman. I really don't have to say a bunch about this to understand why you shouldn't watch this movie. Shaquille O'Neal Steel. One, I'm
That's
pissed
it.
off about it because Steel is a John Henry, which, by the way, if you want to see the correct John Henry irons and the correct version of Steel, watch fucking Superman and Lois. Brilliant interpretation, very comic book accurate, awesome suit, gets the whole thing. Shaq did not. Steel did
Not at all.
not. The writers did not. Shaft was fucking in it. Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft's fucking in it. We don't need Shaft and Shaq. We don't need Shaft and Shaq in a Steel movie. If you're not familiar with what Steel is, John Henry Irons is one of the replacements for Superman with the death of Superman. When Superman died and was gone, these 4 people, the Eradicator, Superboy, Steel, they took over as the Supermen. Steel was one of those. Great storyline. Pisses me off still because I killed Superman. I fucking killed him. Just saying. Fucking Dan Jurgens. But anyway, so I was initially pissed. Like, motherfuckers, there's a Steel cat. And then I was like, okay, Steel, cool. They're coming out with a movie. And then they announced Shaq. And I'm like, Shaq? Like, still playing basketball. This wasn't after retirement, guys. This is still playing basketball. Like he couldn't act. It sounded like he was reading every fucking line. And by the way, the dialogue was god fucking awful. So when you can't act and you're delivering god fucking awful dialogue, you just stop. Just fucking stop. Kazam was a better fucking movie than Steel. And Kazam sucked. So I don't even know what to say. This should have never fucking been made. Never. They were trying to capitalize on the popularity of Shaq. Didn't work. Failed on every fucking level. Sucked. Do not watch it. If Steel, watch Superman and Lois. That's all I'm saying.
That's it.
Otherwise, do not even look at this. If you see it anywhere, don't even look at it. Shade your eyes. It's that fucking bad. Don't even look at it. It's bad.
Well, alrighty then. Number 1 for me goes to Venom. Let There Be Carnage. This one was set up so well. Now don't get me wrong. I felt like the original Venom with Tom Hardy, it was a solid 3.5 out of 5. Nothing crazy, but they set up Carnage, which that was supposed to be, other than Spider-Man, that's going to be like the big baddie for this anti-hero. So everybody was pumped. But then they released the duration of the film, an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, I already know it's not going to be good. I already know. But I still try to go in with that open mind. And come on, you have Woody Harrelson fucking playing Carnage. And I just, it really fell right on its feet, or it really fell right on its face, because like, first you get presented Carnage and he's this big baddie that nothing is going to kill him. He's always going to adapt to everything. He's going to be fine. He's going to kill you no matter what. But then he doesn't, and he gets defeated. And that's basically the movie. Like, it's nothing like in depth. There's no real like drama. So yeah, I was very disappointed in this film, and I think that's probably why I hold such a big grudge towards it. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Again, I just want to state, much like I did with Brandon Routh, this is to no disfault to Woody Harrelson or Tom Hardy. They played the characters really well. This is a poorly executed script with poorly executed direction, and it was rushed. This movie happened. It's a pure filler fluff. It's a filler movie because it was supposed to be Venom and Spider-Man. But the delay with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange forced them to not be able to do the storyline on the timeline that they wanted to, and they needed to fill. And they said, let's just do Carnage. We'll get to Spidey. Right? The whole plan was always the big battle everybody wanted to see, Venom and Spider-Man. And the MCU, with their delay, fucked that. So Sony's like, well, shit, we still need a fucking Venom movie. Let's just throw this shit together, put it out there, boom. Well, that's what happens when you throw shit together and put it out there. Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Exactly.
I would like to see them bring Woody back.
I would
revisit Carnage. Let's try it again when done properly. I think it would be brilliant.
Agreed.
My number 1, you know how I feel about Christopher Reeve. You know how I feel about Superman. His Superman. Definitive Superman. Always will be. This movie, it's the single greatest fucking disaster, horrible version of a superhero movie I've ever seen in my life. This movie was done. 3 did not go over well with Richard Pryor. There was a couple good scenes where he, like, the weird kryptonite made him turn dark and evil. It, like, separated him, and he was drunk, and he was flicking peanuts and hitting people and screaming at little kids. And that was cool when the good Superman, bad Superman battled each other so he could only good thing about Superman 3. But it did not go over well. People did not like it. And Christopher Reeve basically said, okay, I'm done. I'm walking away from the franchise. This is no good. It's time to move on. Warner Brothers wanted another Superman movie. So Christopher Reeve, being the good guy that he is, and keep in mind, this is during the time where the nuclear proliferation, Russia, America kind of thing. He only agreed to do the movie if it made a political statement about Superman ridding the world of nuclear weapons. So the bad guy was the nuclear man. And it was about Superman basically walks into the fucking United Nations and says, I'm fucking Superman, you can't stop me, and you people don't know shit, so I'm going to go around the world and collect all the fucking nuclear weapons, and I'm going to fucking get rid of them. Luthor finds out about this, devises a way, takes a little bit of Superman's DNA, mixed nuclear, here comes Nuclear Man. Fucking most god-awful bad guy you've ever seen in your life. Stupid fucking origin, stupid fucking powers, stupid fucking costume, looked awful. The special effects in Superman and Superman 2 rival even some of the CGI shit we see today. You see that man flying, you think he's fucking flying. It looks so real and so there. Superman 4, you see the cables. You see the fucking cables when he's flying. They didn't even take the time to fucking remove them from the film during editing. You see the fucking cables. He takes this girl, this woman, who, by the way, is not Lois. There's this new reporter kind of thing, or played by Mariel Hemingway. God-awful, fucking horrible performance, whatever. There's a scene where they're fighting, and he's trying to save her, and they fly up into space. He leaves the atmosphere. They're in space. Is she in a fucking spacesuit? Does she have a globe? Is he giving her mouth to mouth? No. He can fucking hold his breath and be fine in space. She can't, and yet there they are. Superman's flying this woman with no fuck. How is she? She should have fucking died instantly. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? What are we doing to the granddaddy of them all? Kevin Feige, Jeff Johns, all of them. This is the one they aspire to be. This is why Superman Returns happened. Everybody at Warner, everybody in the world of ever said, let's forget that 3 and 4 ever fucking happened. Let's pretend like they don't even exist, and let's finish Christopher Reeve's trilogy the right way. To which they didn't do. They still fucking got it wrong, which is why it was on your list. But yeah, it is. I've never seen the epitome of the perfection of Superman and Superman 2, which basically all one long-ass movie. And then the utter complete failure of anything right ever with Superman 4. It was the most drastic turnaround in cinematic history. I just don't know what the fuck happened. Like, it was like, ugh. So there you go. Mine, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. It should have really been Superman 4, The Quest to Find a Movie. Because there was none to be found in it. Like, nothing. Just bad. But Christopher Reeve got paid, and he got to make his political statement, and everything was fine.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's what it is, guys. Our top 5 least comic book movies. Please be sure to let us know what your least favorite comic book movie is. We're all about it. We're all about the social interaction. So be sure to add us below.